Hello, thank you for joining this month's Connect with Control M session. My name is Jose Luna and I will be your facilitator for this webinar. Today we will explain what are the requirements and considerations you need to know before upgrading to version 9.21 and will demonstrate how to perform an in-place upgrade to this latest version. We have three presenters today from the Control M support team: Javier Núñez, Esteban Santiago, and Froilan Reyes. We recommend going to full screen mode during this presentation by pressing the full screen button. Please note that this presentation is available via the file spot at the bottom of your screen. For any questions you may have during the presentation, please post them in the Q&A pod. We will be addressing your questions at the end of the session. Today, we'll explain what you need to know before performing an in-place upgrade to version 9.21 and see demonstrations on how to upgrade Control M Enterprise Manager, Control M Server, and Control M Agent. Afterwards, we'll take your questions during the Q&A session and give you the opportunity to provide your feedback. For our first demonstration, Esteban Santiago will cover considerations for 9.21 and how to perform in-place upgrade for Control M Enterprise Manager component. Esteban, please go ahead.
Thank you for the introduction, Jose. On this demo, I'm going to go over the upgrade of a Control M Enterprise Manager to version 9.0.21. We will see the upgrade in two different scenarios, starting from an Enterprise Manager at version 9.0.20 on a Linux host and another one at version 9.0.19 on Windows. We will also look at the upgrading the Control M EM client on a Windows workstation. Before I get started, I would like to discuss the requirements to upgrade the Enterprise Manager to version 21. All of the mentioned links will be provided in the links section of the presentation. First, the EM should be updated prior to the other components, like Control M Server or Control M Agent. After you upgrade the EM, you can proceed to upgrade the other components. Second, you can only upgrade from EM and Server versions 19 or 20. For lower versions, you must first migrate your data as described in the Control M migration documents, or perform an in-place upgrade to one of the supported versions, then upgrade it to 21. Next, verify that your operating system and database software is compatible with the new version of the Control M EM. There is a link for the product compatibility matrix in the links section. Also, make sure you have an additional 10 GB of disk space available before upgrading. There are some special considerations if SSL is enabled in your EM environment. If the CMS commode system parameter value is set to SSL or is set to auto and at least one Control M server is connected via SSL, the security policy must not use KDB file key stores and should be updated to PKCS12 key stores. The security policy must be configured to use TLS 1.2 protocol before the upgrade. And if you install the EM patch 9.0.22 or 5, you must disable SSL before you upgrade to 21. All links regarding the steps to perform that changes are available in the links section. From version 21 onwards, it is necessary to use a privileged install of Java. It is possible to use the JRA or JDK, but it is essential that the minimum version is 11.0.12. You should ask your system administrator to provide this prior to EM upgrade. Once Java is installed, we will have to define the path in a variable, which we will learn how to do it during the demo. You can only upgrade Control M to version 21 using supported database versions. Depending on the database type and version, it will be necessary to upgrade the database before or after the EM upgrade, considering your starting environment and the time available for the process. After you have upgraded the dedicated Postgres database server to version 11, you can no longer downgrade the EM or server to a version below 21. In a full installation environment, you will perform the upgrade procedure one time as the EM and server Postgres database are upgraded together. Details for compatibility and the other database types are available in the links section. If you have an EM distributed installation, you must upgrade the default EM first and then upgrade the distributed ones. The workload and archiving server is upgraded automatically during the EM distributed upgrade. Before installing, upgrading, or uninstalling in a high availability environment, ensure that the secondary EM configuration agent and server configuration agents are down, but the EM database must always be up at the time of the installation. The installation must be performed on the primary and then on the secondary or distributed. After installing on the primary, you must install on the secondary before starting up the secondary configuration agent. That concludes the important considerations and the requirements before the upgrade to version 21. Now let's move to the demonstration. Let's start with upgrading from version 20 in a Linux environment. After copying and unzipping the installation files downloaded from EPD according to the documentation, it is necessary to set the variable that indicates where Java version 11 is installed. Remember, it should point to the directory where I can find the Java release file. In my environment, Java is installed at home, CTM/EM, myjava, java-11. Using below commands, you can set the bmc inst java home variable on different shell interpreters. For example, when using sh or bash, or when using csh or tcsh. If you try to run setup without setting the Java home variable, the setup will fail with this message. As I'm using CSH as my shell interpreter, I will set the variable as follows. After setting the variable, start the installation by running the setup.sh script again. Be sure to read and accept the license terms and conditions before proceeding with the upgrade. I will upgrade the only product installed, the Control-M Enterprise Manager, so I will select this option. If your installation type is full, the corresponding option will be available and must be selected. Now the preparation step is being executed and it takes a while. After it finishes, press N or Enter to start the upgrade itself. That will shut down all the AM components and start the upgrade process. The upgrade takes a few minutes to conclude, as multiple tasks must be executed, such as stop the components, copy files, and update the database. Once the installation is finished, you will receive this message and must close the current session and open a new one for starting working with the Control-M. As we are using Postgres that comes with the installation, the version installed along with the Control-M 20 is already 11.5. In this case, it's not necessary to upgrade the database. At the end of the installation, you can see that the Control-M Enterprise Manager has been updated to version 21 by checking the installed versions file in the EM home directory. You can also see the same information in the CCN. Now I will continue the demo with upgrading from version 19 in a Windows environment. As with the previous Linux installation, you must have Java 11 installed before starting the upgrade. The Java environment variable must also be set before execution. You can set the Java variable by running the below command. If you do not set the Java home variable, the setup will fail. Set the variable with the correct Java 11 path, and the setup will continue. Alternatively, you can use the PowerShell find Java release script that can be downloaded from the support website through article 000401891. Just download it and put it in the same directory where the installer files from version 21. Now we open a CMD from that directory and execute find Java, which will show you the JRA or JDK packages 11 installed. Once we select the JRA to use, it will automatically define the variable and run the package installer to perform the upgrade. Then select the accept the terms, next. Select which product you want to upgrade, in this case Control-M Enterprise Manager. Then click next again. Wait for the screen to load. Then approve and continue, and next again. Okay, this preparation phase will take a time to finish. And after that, you click in yes, shut down the products now, and upgrade. That will start the upgrade phase. The product is upgrading. It takes some time before it finishes because it needs to copy multiple files and update some database tables and stop the product, not necessarily in this order. Okay, done. And then we're going to check the version, opening the install versions file from the default EM install, and there it is. It is upgraded and running on v21. As we are using the Postgres database that comes with EM19 installation, the version provided is 10.4, as we can see in the CCM. Control M21 requires the database version to be 11.5, so we will have to upgrade the database following the steps below. Copy the PG server upgrade zip file from within the setup files tools directory on the installation media to the EM home directory. Then extract the file. In my demo, the zipped files have already been extracted and are ready to use. Navigate to PG server upgrade directory and run the PG upgrade batch command. Follow the on-screen instructions until the upgrade is complete. You will be asked to provide the database administrator password, then the EM user password. If there is any processes running on the Control M EM, the screen will be shown. You need to stop the Control M EM services, and after that, the upgrade will be executed successfully. As we can see in CCM, both database versions and EM versions were updated successfully. Last but not least, after the upgrade completes, Control M EM is in compatibility mode, and other Control M clients that were not updated can still work with the upgraded Control M EM server. However, the new features are disabled in compatibility mode. To activate all features, you should disable this mode and update the version of the client to the same as the EM server. To upgrade the EM client, just open a web browser and navigate to the welcome page. From there, you can either open the Control M web interface or click on download to get the client installer. After the download is complete, you can click save to install later or save the installer for use on the other workstations, or click run to run the installer immediately. As soon as the installer runs, it will start downloading the files needed for the client to update. On this screen, just accept the terms, click Next, and select whether you want to install a new instance or update an existing one. In this case, we will update a client installed in this workstation. Here you can generate an XML file with installation definitions for future use in a silent installation. This makes it possible to automate the installation or upgrade of clients on multiple workstations at once. Now it's time to wait for the preparation to finish. Then select the box and click Upgrade. After a few more moments, all files will be copied and the upgrade will be successfully completed. Alternatively, you can download the client installer directly from the EPD instead of using the welcome page. And with that, we conclude this demonstration. Thank you very much, and back to Jose.
Thank you, Esteban, for showing how to perform an in-place upgrade to Control M Enterprise Manager 921. Our next one is about Control M server consideration for 921 and how to perform in-place upgrade for this component. We have Froilan Reyes, who is going to lead us through this demonstration on Control M server in-place upgrade.
Thank you for the introduction, Jose. For my portion of the demo, we will go through an in-place upgrade of Control M to version 9.0.21. A minimum of version 9.0.19 is required to upgrade directly to 9.21. There are a few pre-installation requirements for this upgrade. A pre-installed version of JRE is required. The supported Java major version is 11, and minor version needs to be 12 or above. The setting of variables bmc_inst_java_home and bmc_inst_ctm_API GTW_port. To make it easier, the find_JavaScript can be downloaded via KA000401891. The script was designed to detect, configure variables, and install Control-M Server. Additional information will be provided as we go along. If you are upgrading from version 9.0.20 and chose not to upgrade Postgres during this time, the DB version will remain the same. You are required to manually upgrade your Postgres database after the installation. However, if you installed a new Control-M with 9.0.20, the Postgres version will already be 11.5 and there will be no requirement to upgrade the database after installation. For the first part of the demo, we will upgrade a new freshly installed Control-M Server version 9.0.19.200 on a Linux machine. The second part, it will be for a Windows machine with version 9.0.20.200 installed. Let's proceed to our Unix machine. I would like to first show the current installation by looking at the installed version.txt file. As you can see, this is a newly installed version of 9.0.19.200 of the Control-M server on a Linux machine. This version also comes with version 10.4 of Postgres, so we will need to upgrade it later. We ran this utility from the $home directory of the Unix account. For the Java requirement, I have pre-downloaded and unpacked it in the following directory. The contents of a proper GRE11 directory should include the following files. Let's define the variable bmc_inst_java_home and set it to this current directory. After setting it, we'll check if it's set. As you can see, it is. And now we will go ahead and set the API port. We will issue this command and also check it using the echo command. And now we are ready to upgrade and will run to the setup.sh scripts from an installation package directory. I'm using port 8393 for the CTM_API GTW_ port, as this is the recommended default port. You can use your own port as long as it's opened in the firewall. During the installation, we will just be accepting default values. So we're going to go through the menu. When we run the setup.sh, we'll follow the steps. We'll go with non-graphical installation. Unless you want to read the license agreement, we're going to continue. We'll pick Control-M server as what we're going to be upgrading. And we're just going to hit next. And we're not going to generate an automatic installation configuration file. As you remembered earlier, prior to running the setup.sh, we had to set the parameter for the API port. The bmc_inst_ctm_API GTW_ port is a new port for version 921, which is used for the REST API connections between Control-M EM and Control-M server. You also may have noticed that we use port 8393. This is just a suggested default port, and any value can be used as long as no other process is using it. And additionally, if you have firewall rules on your environment, make sure to open this port for incoming traffic. We will enter next to proceed for the upgrade. The installation has successfully succeeded. Now we will exit from this user account and log back in so we can check the installed version and the current version of Postgres. As we can see, even though we upgrade our Control-M server, Postgres remained as version 10.4, so we will need to upgrade it to version 11. So let's proceed. To upgrade the database, we will need to shut down both the configuration agent and the Control-M server and make sure there's no other Control-M server processes that are currently running. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that Control-M server is down, we just want to double check and make sure there's no other Control-M server processes running. We are now ready to upgrade the Postgres database. To upgrade the database, we will need to copy the upgrade files from the Control-M server installation CD or package to the home directory of the user account as this is where the PGSQL directory resides. So we will copy the /home Control-M _install files 921 _setup files tools pg server upgrade.tar.z to /home /Control-M. We will do a g-unzipped on the pg server upgrade tar.z, and we will untar it using tar-xvf pg server upgrade tar. Now that we have all the files required to upgrade the database, we will cd to the pg upgrade server directory and then run the pg upgrade .sh script. During the upgrade process, we will be prompted for both the database administrator password and the Control-M server user password. Make sure that you have this handy, so let's proceed. The upgrade of the database has successfully ended. This Linux environment has now been upgraded. Let's now check the current version of Postgres. And we're now switching to the second part of the demo for a Windows environment. Now that we are on a Windows machine, we will go through some similar checks. As you can see, I have opened the command prompt as administrator. The current install-versions.txt shows that we have a version 9.0.20.200 of the Control-M server on this Windows machine. Since this environment was a fresh install and not an upgrade, the current version of the Postgres is version 11 and we are not required to upgrade. Let's proceed with the pre-installation steps. As mentioned earlier, for a Windows type environment, we can leverage the find_Java script. To make the script work, we will presume that Java is properly installed on the machine and we can detect the current Java version. Per the instructions of KA000401891, the Java script needs to be located in the installation directory where the setup.exe resides. Since we are in the current directory, we will just run the utility from this location. It has found the current installation of our Java and it's now prompting us whether we want to accept this and set the bmc_java_home to that particular value. We will enter 1 to continue, and then next we will enter 8393 as the API gateway port. We'll basically use the default port. Once we specify the API port, the installation upgrade is automatically launched and we will be prompted for information. We will select Install Additional Components. We will then select Additional Components and Control-M Server. The installation is now finished preparing the files. It's now ready to upgrade. The upgrade has successfully ended. We'll proceed with performing some simple checks. The installed version shows that we have upgraded to version 9.021. And most importantly, the Progress database is now version 11. Thank you for watching this presentation, as this now concludes the demo for the upgraded Control-M server to version 9.021. Now back to Jose.
Thank you, Froilan, for demonstrating how to perform an in-place upgrade to Control-M Server 921. Next, we have Javier Núñez, who is going to talk about Control-M agent considerations and how to perform in-place upgrade for this latest version 921.
Thank you for the introduction. On this demo, I'm going to go over the upgrade of a Control-M agent to version 21. We'll see two different scenarios using the two methods available, upgrading manually or through the Control-M agent deployment. Before we get started, I would like to discuss the requirements to upgrade the Control-M agent to version 21. First, we need to bring our own GRE version 11. This will need to be available in the Control-M agent machine and its path defined as we will see in the demo. To upgrade to version 21, the minimum version required is version 9 Interface Pack 3. With the new Control Agent version, it includes the Automation API and the Application Integrator. In case you have installed the application pack in the Control Agent, the Application Integrator will be upgraded as well. For installing the Control Agent manually on Windows environments and to prevent finding the Java location and define the variable manually, in the article 401891, we'll find the script find Java, which is going to assist us on this process. We'll review it later on. Last but not least, for deploying the new Control Agent version 21, is required to have the compatibility mode switched off. Let's start with the upgrades, and as you can see in my Control M Configuration Manager, we have 4 Control M agents to upgrade, 2 with version 20, other 2 with version 19. These based in Linux and Windows platforms. The first upgrade will be done through the Control M agent deployment. I'm going to upgrade my Linux version 20, for which we go to the menu option, Manage, and click in the deployment button. In the new window that opens, we select New Activity, Agent Upgrade, and we give it any activity name. In this case, we are going to call it Upgrade Linux, and we'll select the option Send and Install Agent Deploy to Control M Agent. Before we click Next, let me say that when upgrading multiple agents, you may consider to use the third option, use network location to update Control M agents to improve the performance. Now let's click Next. In the new window, we'll select the agent that we are going to upgrade. This is my Linux version 20. And in the field Set Java Home Directory Location, we need to specify the path where we have installed our GRE or JDK in the Control M agent machine. This is ready to upgrade. Let's click Install button. At this point, the upgrade gets started and it will transfer the installer to the Control M agent machine, and once completed, we'll start the upgrade. As we can see, the upgrade completed successfully, and if we close this window, we can see our Control M agent has been upgraded successfully to version 21. Same process apply to upgrade my Control M agent version 19 based in Windows. If we select New Activity, Agent Upgrade, and in the activity name, we call it Upgrade Windows. Like before, we select Send and Install Agent Deploy to the Control M agent, and we click Next. In the field Set Java Home Directory, we specify the path where I have installed my GRE version 11 in the Control M agent machine, and we select the agent hostname and click Install. The upgrade gets started. Now the upgrade is completed, and if we close this window, and here we can see how we have upgraded our 2 Control M agents through the Control M agent deployment. Now let's review the other process to upgrade, which is manually. Here is my Linux version 19, to which I placed already my Control M agent version 21 installer package and my GRE version 11. Before we perform the install, we need to define the variable BMC in Java Home pointing to my GRE version 11. And remember, it should point to the directory where it can find the Java release file. Now we execute the setup file from the home directory of my control M agent, and the installer gets started. We select yes, and the upgrade begins. Once completed the upgrade successfully, we can check the content of the installed version file to see how the agent has been upgraded to version 21, and as we discussed before, the application integrator and the automation API is included with the control image. Last but not least, let's upgrade manually my last control image on version 20 based in a Windows machine. As we have done previously, we need to send the version 21 installer package and install my GRE version 11 in the machine. Additionally, and to prevent looking for the Java path and define the variable, we have downloaded the script find Java attached to the knowledge article that you can see in the screen with number 401891. You will find the link to the article in the link section of this presentation and put it in the same directory where I have my version 21 installer package. Now we open a CMD session from the same directory and execute find Java. It will scan the machine and will show the GRE's JDK version 11 available, and once we select the GRE that we want to use, it will automatically run the installer, and here we select upgrade installation and choose the agent I want to upgrade and click next, and the upgrade initiates. While it's upgrading, a quick note about the script find Java. This is only available for Windows machines. Further details can be found in the knowledge article. Once completed the upgrade, my control M agent has been upgraded successfully. If we go back to our control and configuration manager, we can see how our 4 agents have been upgraded successfully to version 21. All right, this concludes this demo. Thank you.
Thank you, Javier, for giving us that insight into in-place upgrade for Control M Agent 921. All right, everyone, that concludes our session for today. On behalf of Javier, Esteban, Froilan, and the entire Connect with Control M team, thank you for spending some time with us today. We look forward to this information can be useful and assist you in upgrading to Control M 921. Stick around for the Q&A session where we'll take your questions. But first, you can learn more about the following BMC education course, Control M Fundamentals Operating, by clicking the link in the link section below, or you can visit the bit.ly link you see on the screen. Your feedback shapes our future webinars. We would appreciate if you will take a moment and answer a few questions for us in the survey that you will receive later today. You can find Control M on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Links for each can be found in the link section below. You can watch previous webinars on the Control M channel on YouTube. Today's webinar will be posted there within a couple of days. We will start our Q&A session now.